Hey guys, we'll be live. We'll be live in just a minute or two. Let me switch them on. AR, why don't you say a few words?
I think my cat was speaking for me, actually, which is weird because she's in the other room.
Okay, Dev, a few words just in case. And YouTube loves to complain that our bitrate is lower than the recommended.
Can you seriously hear that?
Yes, I
Yes.
can.
Oh my god, she's like not close to us.
I assume the audience can't because I have the noise reduction on for you guys, so they literally just hear Dev randomly making cat noises
They're
for no reason.
not gonna complain if they can hear a cat. Come on. That's a value add.
No, I'm saying they
Exactly.
won't hear the cat. They will just hear Dev randomly making cat noises, and it clearly is Dev.
Cat's gonna start demanding the cat.
Let's see. We will wait. We'll wait for chat to comment, and I will also look at YouTube complaining about 2.7 megabits is perfectly fine for static screens, but it really does not like it. So I've set the maximum up higher, and because it does not need any more bitrate, OBS will not give it anymore. So I'm just getting the notification constantly, even though it will go significantly higher. It just won't because there's not there's no need for it. But it really does not like it. Okay. Okay, Ian's there in the chat. We'll let him comment if he can hear you guys. And of course, since he's talking about cats, he clearly can, so I don't know why I said it. Yes.
Yeah, he's contributing to the conversation. I assume
Yes.
that means he can hear the conversation.
Yeah, unfortunately, I lost track of that as I'm looking at this warning popping up constantly. It's like, no, I can see the stream. It's perfectly fine because it can handle a very basic fade. Okay. You guys ready to go?
I gotta think of an intro.
Me drank some drink.
Welcome to the With the Will podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, a run with the Will and produce Digimon on Blu-ray.
I'm AR Pulver. I'll milk Digimon System Restore for one more show.
I'm DevQ and I like to make cat noises in response to cat noises.
My favorite part about that AR is right as you start to talk, I could tell you were still trying to think of what to say.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, this should be a much calmer show than last time, don't you think?
If it goes 3 hours again, we riot.
Well, it technically went over 3 hours.
It's not like that was intended. It just sort of happened.
I mean, when you start summarizing the movie scene by scene and are surprised that Jeff and I start overanalyzing it, which is what we do for the fandom.
Here's my favorite part, and I'm going to mute myself so they can't hear me when I say a spoiler. And now I'm unmuted, but they could hear me as I mentioned a spoiler that we actually forgot to talk about.
Great content for the audience, I'm sure.
Yeah. To be fair, if they don't know, it's better if they don't know.
I'm referring to the radio silence that they got there.
We'll see. But yeah, how has technically the last 2 weeks, last week, how is it as we go into long holiday week for everyone?
The problem is the cleaning for the long holiday week as come over.
I ain't doing that shit.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah. I drank too much coffee, and when you drink too much caffeine and you can't tell if you've drank too much caffeine or if you're just not feeling well? I have that right now. But also I felt
Thankfully, I never let it get to that.
Yeah, see, I felt like this yesterday without caffeine, so it may just be that, but who knows?
Well, sometimes I take caffeine thinking I get better, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it makes it worse.
Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna be a long week.
Yeah.
Might as well start off with Seekers.
Oh, that's a great way to set the tone.
So, as for
this is surprisingly more tolerable to me personally than the last one.
So 3-8 is basically the good type of exposition.
Yeah,
we're getting details. It's like very basic. Almost nothing happens, but we're getting like relevant details. It's like, oh, stuff is going to move forward shortly.
This is the right way of presenting things. It's just the story itself is now kind of going, okay, Professor, this is getting a little silly.
Here's where the problem is we're now moving forward in a story we have not had for 2 months.
Yeah.
So 3-8 is kind of like easing us back into it. Functionally, nothing happens here. Basically, it's
a nice transition between what happened before and kind of leading into how it's relevant now.
Yes, and 3-9 is actually really interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, 3-9's.
Yeah,
that's fair.
The first chunk, it kind of falls into that weird thing that Seekers likes, where it's exposition that goes nowhere, and it's meant to make you go, "This is an edgy story."
Yeah.
Where it's like,
haha, Lugamon's an asshole.
Yeah, it's like Lugamon's kind of a prick, and AG's sick and throwing up, and it details that he has
3-9? Okay.
Yeah, and it details because nothing really happens in 3-8. We get some basic background exposition, but it's background. It's to ease us into this.
Yeah, it's American. It's confirming that the guy that we knew was reminding us that the guy that we expect to be Tartarus is like, yeah, we know it's like reminding us, yes, this guy is Tartarus.
Yes.
Okay, everyone got that clear? Good.
Yeah.
Let's also that the professor has his hands in everything.
Yeah. Although they also lean very hard into the professor's exactly who you think he is. He's definitely not evil. He's a good guy. He's definitely not doing something that will pop up later and has been manipulating things the whole time. Because the person who has not seen him for years thinks so.
When he has hands in every single side of things, you just have to be suspicious. Like there's no amount of altruism that he can provide that can get you away from the suspicion.
But that's where it's weird. Here it's like the exposition we get is he's definitely exactly what he seems. He's a good guy, but it's from someone who has not really talked to him in years.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying it's a fake out. It may not be. It comes across as a fake out, though.
Also, it's from the perspective of the police officer who, regardless of what we've learned so far, you're sort of like, okay, she's supposed to be on the morally superior
also,
side.
weirdly, is she weirdly not as specific of a cop as you'd expect?
Right?
Like she's up, just based on his word, she's kind of willing to look the other way, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
Because I thought her whole framing was that she was the serious cop.
Justice.
Did I read that wrong?
It's Karen cop.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then with 3-9, the main point of this chapter is AG exists.
Well, so here's where I kind of like 3-9 following 3-8, because 3-8 seems to have this as sort of, the professor is sort of playing every side. It's like, I don't care who gets there first. I just want someone to make a big leap forward in the progress. And then AG is kind of the one to remind you, it's like, no, the stuff that's going on here does have a real emotional impact on people. And no matter how much he's kind of pulling the strings from behind, and even if we're pretending that he does have good intentions, it's still affecting people.
Yeah. And then
it's like it's just gonna bite someone in the ass at some point.
And then, hey, Tartarus shows up. And I will say the one thing I like is, and I'm trying to decide how much I completely buy the character, is having him show up and just being a great guy. And he knows what AG's going through because he went through it. He knew AG wouldn't be doing well, so he had to show up to help. And I'm trying to decide if this is maybe going a bit too far to convince us.
It felt more along the lines of he's like some depressed loser. It's like, oh shit, I should probably take care of this kid because it's kind of my fault that he's in this situation because I told him to go after Judge.
I mean, to be fair, he was supposed to go after Judge. He went to do it and everything. He's basically sad that exactly what he planned to happen happened.
Did he know that Leon and Judge had a pre-existing relationship, or that AG and Judge had quote-unquote friends?
I don't recall if we know what he knows.
Okay.
Because it's one of those things where
I remember he doesn't.
Well, but that's the thing. We don't know what Tartarus actually knows because the entire idea is he's the shadowy figure behind stuff who only appears when it has to. He may know everything. He may be a good guy for all we know. He could be the most psychotic, evil dude possible. Mm-hmm. The framing is we're not supposed to know, and it certainly wants us to think that, it turns out he's a great guy.
He just comes off as kind of like a sad loser also.
And,
a little bit.
Well, the sad part is Lugamon's the voice of reason. His thoughts are so clear that he apparently wandered off to try to find information. That's a level of helpfulness that doesn't quite fit Lugamon, but I'm okay with it. And also, he's still mouthy as hell, and that works.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're sad, your dog just goes and finds you a slipper and brings it to you because they think you would enjoy this slipper.
Yeah. Lugamon's a good boy.
And it feels like it's setting up for shit to happen, doesn't it?
Yes, which is good.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah, let's hope that happens. And after 2 weeks of no fan art updates, they actually put up a batch of, I think, 3.
Oh, good.
I did not bother looking.
I decided that I need to actually look when they say they do this for if I'm going to post or not.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen some on Twitter in general, so yeah. I hope that they find it and put it up there.
Yeah. And then Digimon Dreamers chapter 21's fun. We get to see the powered up Pulsemon. I like anytime Pulsemon acts like himself and people freak out no matter what their level of power or ability is. We almost get a Pac-Man chomping towards Fellousmon. He's just like, get the fuck away from me, you weirdo.
He's just chaos. It's great.
Yeah. Fun. Things move forward a bit. We get to hear about the plan, and Ritsu looks way too cool at the end for Ritsu.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like,
let him milk it.
I'm not buying it. Like, he's looking too cool there.
It feels very much like any random moment in V-Tamer when Taichi or Zeromaru look really cool, and then 5 seconds later they trip or something.
Or they start dancing.
Yes. And then that is the end of Dreamers as published in Psycho Jump. It is now moving back to its monthly schedule on the 3rd of every month. It'll go up and new chapters until it's over. I can tell a number of people were very confused by this because they went, oh, now that it's moving to monthly, it will probably be longer chapters, right? It's like, no, Dreamers was always monthly. We were getting them weekly because they changed publishing methods and were giving it to us in English. It was always a monthly. I would hope that now that they don't have to be published, that if Tenya Buno goes, oh, I need 2 more pages for this chapter, he can just do them. But there's no guarantee of that. So, our first new chapter's in about 2 weeks.
Yay.
And then, anniversary time. The 8th anniversary for Tri, and the 25th anniversary for V-Tamer. Let's start with V-Tamer. Because of the way media franchises work, it was the first ongoing media that came out for Digimon. Everyone involved still shows up for it. I really am looking forward to seeing if they do anything over the next few months for V-Tamer. There's a very small period before this just becomes Digimon Adventure 25th Anniversary Orama. And I would like to see something for V-Tamer. I don't know what, but I would very much like something. So
more art.
I would like to believe we'll see something from Yabuno, if nothing else.
Crossover chapter with Ritsu.
Yes.
And then the 8th anniversary of Tri starting. It is weird to think it has only been 8 years, because from this point, because someone was like, oh, it hasn't been 8 years of Tri discourse. And I went, that's the thing you have to, that's the thing you actually have to remember, is if you think about the time frame, it is very strange because in the past 8 years, we've gotten 8 feature-length films, 5 shorts, 3 different TV shows that ran for 4 years, and that's just anime.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
Yeah, like that's why I've always found it weird anyone who complained about the pace of Tri being released. It's like a feature-length OVA roughly every half year is amazing pacing for something like that.
It's also weird that we've had, because we've had so much, like, it was like even like a couple years ago, it was like, wow, it's really been 6 years already. And now, because we have gotten so many series and so many movies out of it, it's like 8 years feels about right.
Yeah. But it's just weird, like, thinking about, like, even where stuff was 9 years ago.
Yeah, really.
Like,
war flashbacks to nothingness.
Yeah, it was basically, hey, we're getting Adventure on DVD dubbed for the first time. Is roughly where we're at. Like, oh, the show is finally coming out on DVD. And
I was still catching up on System Restore. I was finishing up Hunters when Tri came out.
Oh man, it's wild to think, and like, just literally the first time when we when Tri ended, we didn't know what was coming, but they had already more than hinted at it. Like, literally, Tri ends with that title card with the Agumon drawing.
Right.
And
right.
like, we are at
it's just it's just a pin saying we're not done yet.
Yeah,
we're gonna do more.
This is the first time since Tri was announced where we know something, like, we know the card game thing, but we don't really know what that is. Like, if that's just A series of cards. It could be. If it's a game, it could be. If it's an anime, it could be. It could be something big, or it could be they announce it, we just go, that's it.
Yep.
We have no idea what is coming next, although with how much money the brand makes nowadays, I think we can safely say won't be too long of a wait.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Another excuse to reprint Omegamon figures.
To be fair, they just reprinted that one Omegamon figure for no apparent reason like a month or two ago. The precious gem, they changed the stand color, remember?
He's got a new hat.
They changed it from blue to like neon green, and they're like, the neon green represents the color of the internet in Wargame. And it's like, oh, I guess there was green in that shot, even though it's white for most of the movie. Okay. And then not a name a lot of people were familiar with before this week, to the point that at one point I had to seriously consider if I had to write, this is not AIM. Because people were like coming to the wrong conclusion. Yoshiko Miura died. She wrote the lyrics for a number of Digimon songs. I Wish, Itsudama Arukara, which is Mimi's. Every Mimi song is good. I'm not even. AR, you say the O to N theme. There's no way in hell I'm getting close to saying that correctly.
Ashita wa Tashi no Kazega Fuku?
Close enough. You can do the next one.
That was close. No, I did mess up one thing.
You can do the next two also, because I'm not getting those either.
Oh, I gotta pull those up. Oh, let's see here. So, yes, I wish Itsudemo Airu kara ashita wa Tashi no Kaze ga Fuku, Eian no Kageyaki, and Watashi no Go Senfu, and Koyobi no Fantasy.
Close enough.
Shokubutsu wa Akira Manai.
Yeah, so she wrote the lyrics to those. And the crazy thing is if you look at her musical career, holy shit. It's one of those where I had, sometimes when we go through these names, I had to stop after a while just because.
Yeah, another one of those.
Yes. Her Japanese Wikipedia page is considered abridged because too much. She wrote the opening and ending themes for Samurai Troopers. She wrote the theme to the lyrics for the Fatal Fury movie. One of the ED themes for Lucky Star. All the openings and endings for Cat's Eye.
Oh, that's cool.
Various ending themes for Lupin. The opening to Megazone. The theme song to Sherlock Hound. Various Ranma themes, the Japanese lyrics for various Project A-ko themes, a number of songs for Fist of the North Star, and the ending theme to Urusei Yatsura Beautiful Dreamer, which is the one like Urusei Yatsura song everyone remembers, among many. And she was still writing stuff earlier this year, it appears. Very long career. Under her name, she used to use the name Irene, which is sometimes translated as Eileen. Basically, since 1977, she's been writing music. Director Kakudo wrote a message that the song was done by the time they were working on the video for the ED, so he was listening to it the whole time. He mentioned that he wishes he could have met her at least once. The Digimon music producer mentioned a number of things, the gentle feeling of the songs and all that. AIM mentioned a number of things. She never got the chance to meet her either.
Well, that's too bad.
Oh, that's surprised.
Well, it's one of those things where you aren't going to bring out the person who wrote. Well, I was just mentioning because
I get that. Yeah.
It's sad, but yeah. Crazy career. And then Peter Spellos also passed. A lot of so Waymon in all the original dub stuff, Merimon in the original dub stuff up through Data Squad, Grizzlymon in the Frontier movie, and uncredited, but it was confirmed by Nemo years ago, he's Omnimon in Data Squad. Throughout the franchise, he also has a lot of the bit parts also.
Yeah, I forgot Omnimon was even in Data Squad.
Yeah. And Spellos is one of those guys who, anyone who ever met him at a convention just talked about how generous he was with his time, making sure fans got their moment that they were looking for, that he was very friendly. Transformers fans always spoke very highly of him, and he was well loved for playing Skybite.
Yeah, I saw a few memorials from like the Transformers fandom.
Skybite was a well-loved character. The show is basically done by one of the rare actual anime dubbed shows. Basically dubbed doing poetry, which fits some of what was done in Japan, but basically a weird Starscream-esque figure who's, instead of screaming, how he'll take over next time, he would just do poetry and fly off and everything. He was also Sagat in the Street Fighter II animated film. He was Hakim in Planetes. He was Rara in Duel. He was Dolce Zabi in the original Gundam movie dub. That dub functionally does not exist anymore. Like, Steve Bloom is in that dub.
Like one of those like good luck finding a copy of it kind of.
No, it's one of those weird ones where like Bandai USA under their original name of Anime Village dubbed it, and someone in Japan just doesn't like the dub, so it just does not exist. And he was also the ship robot in Outlaw Star, Gilliam.
Oh damn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tons of messages showed up, because sometimes you kind of forget like how many roles some people had, and he taught a lot of people also. He was one of the eminent voice actor teachers. So just tons of people sending messages. And then after Spellos, movie stuff.
No more.
Have we all survived from the podcast last week?
No, we're dead.
Yeah, not quite.
Yeah,
they're holding a seance and they're talking to our ghosts.
Let us all say thank you to ONK for staying until 1 a.m. for her. Yeah, for me it was like, oh, it's late, but it's not too late. It's 10 p.m. It's like, oh, that time does not translate well.
It was getting late for me even. Yeah. I'm just like,
but yeah, I'm pretty happy the stuff we talked about for the movie. I think it went well. Discussion threads on the forum. And what's weird is because we did the special last week, but we're still technically in the 2-week period where, hey, a week and a half ago is the dub screening, the sub screening. It is weird to think that we've already gone through it. Like,
yeah, it's weirdly done for us.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking earlier. It's like, it's weird because like there can be more movie news, but there's very little that we will have to say about it outside of like a detailed interview that breaks down meaning of the film. Like we've said our piece.
I think it might be good to give a couple, like maybe in a few weeks, to have allow some of the people who have just been able to see it in the interim to give them a chance to get questions in or something.
Yeah, functionally, I think what we'll do is maybe the last episode of the year will be, hey, if you don't want spoilers, be careful because the question and answer is going to have spoilers.
Yeah.
Like
saying
it's
spoilers from this point. Yeah, spoiler from this point forward.
In fact, if I'm mathing out my dates, there may be a good day to do that, but I'm not sure everyone will want to do a show on that day.
Nope. I will not.
I just don't care.
We may do that episode on the 2nd rather than the 1st. Yeah, so we'll figure that out. But yes, we will do our best to avoid spoilers. I'm sure something will slip out, but we will do our best for the time being. But very soon, anyone who has more movie questions will get their chance. To celebrate the movie, they're doing a fan screening in Japan this week. And the plans for this have changed a few times, actually. So it's at the Walled Nine, which, bless that it's the same home base theater we've had since Try. Tomohisa Taguchi will be there. He will be doing a commentary while the film plays live, which they did this with Try a number of times. They have no plans to repeat or replay it. I don't like that. Like, I understand the point, but I don't like it. Fukujiro Katayama, who's Daisuke, and Junko Noto Vimon were announced to be there. They will sit down, do questions and answers from fans. They're calling it a teach-in. That portion will be streamed and is scheduled for about 30 minutes. They also do raffle with prizes. And since then, they've been able to get a few more people schedule-wise. So Ayumi Miyazaki's schedule cleared up, so he'll be there to play some music. And just earlier today, I think, they announced Mao, who's Hikari, Koichi Tachika, who's Hawkmon, and Satoki Ida, who's the sound director / designer. So,
nice.
so functionally, they're going to get anyone who's available on that day, and they're adding. Like, it was a good list when it was just the three of them, but now that's more than doubled. It's even better. But yeah, so.
It's like, are you here? Get your ass over here.
Yes. And there's definitely going to be more movie stuff to talk about, but this is functionally kind of like the end of normal stuff. I would not. I would have hoped we would have been able to see it subbed and been able to talk about it before the year was up. My brain still does not quite process that. Oh, it was dubbed.
Good. We got it.
A week after it was in theaters. That's just fucking surreal, honestly.
Yeah, that was crazy.
All credit to them. And here's the thing. I think the dub quality was reasonably good, outside of a few odd mistakes, which we talked about and we'll talk about again. Mm-hmm. It was a reasonably solid dub.
And the kind of mistakes they made are just as easy to happen if they'd taken their time.
Here's the problem. Here's the thing that drives me insane. The kind of mistakes they made were made quite possibly by the same writer 24 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it is the same person who wrote a number of the post-Nimoy episodes of 02 where they started going, oh, it's only been 3 years since Adventure. And it's like, no. That's not accurate for the dub. And then, music. Now the digital release is out, we get to see the cover. I think we expected the physical releases to have the same covers, but I love that they're full color now.
Yeah.
They look good. The various colors one with Louis and Ukumon looks great, honestly. And also
I'm tempted to get that one.
I also love the AIM flying one. So these are out in a month. If you get them from Feel Me's own shop, Feel Me being the music publisher, you also get a print of the cover, which looks nice. And then AIM mentioned on Twitter a little story regarding it. When they were deciding like what the photo cover would be, she asked that she be flipped around because it matches up with one of the secondary photos from the cover for Friend. And she says, like, there's no actual connection. There may be a few thematic ones. She just thought it was cute to have it so they kind of matched, and that is neat. But yeah, the best song out of these is Various Colors, for sure, though. I really like the covers, though, honestly. They all look great. Shakuamon is the greatest of Digimon on the. I just love like you get Imperial Dramon, it's like action pose. Sylphimon, action pose. Shakuamon is Shakuamon. Like that is an action pose for Shakuamon, but it's also just, hey, it's Shakuamon.
You can't tell whether it's an action pose or not.
He's trying his best.
That's all we can ask of him.
And then a few more 15-second analyze for Wormmon and Stingmon. There's a few more of these, but I'm waiting to do them in like batches of 2 and 3 when they make sense. I like these even if they're it feels like some of these might have worked better leading up to the movie.
Yeah.
Like I love a weird little Wormmon analyzer and a Stingmon one. That would have been great. Although to be fair, these might have gotten completely crushed if you did a whole bunch of them right before the movie.
Yeah, there was just like so fucking much everything before
the last 3 or so weeks was just like a tornado of stuff. And then Vital Bracelet update from V-Jump. They go over the Team Battle event. Millenniumon will appear in December. I love having him for the end of a year event. It's just and then in the adventure stuff, various O2 related Digimon will appear to fuck up your day. And I love how it's like, okay, it's Chimeramon, it's Armagamon, and it's Ukomon. Yep.
Yep.
And then on top of that, it is time for cards. So one sec, I have to stretch here. I have to stretch. Okay.
I have to look at these cards.
Okay, starter deck 17's up first. Kaisernail, great art. I have like very little to say about it because this is really cool.
Yeah.
Pride Memory Boost. I love that it's the D Brigade versus the Legend Arms. Versus the Legend Arms. Although it's weird. One thing about this that's weird to me is the Legend Arms member who is most mentioned regarding the D Brigade is the hardest to see. Because Ludomon's the one that, like, I think is the first time that association was made between any of these. It's his profile talking about him battling the D Brigade and shit, and it's like you can almost miss the little fucker in the background.
Really, just kind of leeching onto Tankdramon.
Yeah. Missed Memory Boost. We get a number of dark, nightmarish Digimon. I like this one. It does not feel very cohesive to me, though.
It's just, hey, look at these spooksters.
Basically, yes. Then
I love the Memory Boost cards. They're always just fun.
Yeah, they are. XVmon, Stingmon, Imperial Dramon, Dragon Mode. All look great. I love the XVmon and Stingmon. It's like them battling, but you get different camera angles. One's looking down, and one's looking up.
Really, really saturated colors go so well.
And then the Imperial Dramon card is functionally, I like to believe it's the same battle. They've just evolved. Because it's Dragon Mode and Gran Kuwagamon. It feels like it's meant to be the same battle. Even though it's not the same artist. Yeah. Then Sethmon and Togemugamon. Those, we do not always get to see these guys at first. Can I just say, for the Sethmon one, I love how it has Vmon and Wholesomeon in the back.
Yeah.
That is a great little touch.
Subtle.
Yeah. And the Togemugamon one is so subtle, I'm not 100% sure if it's actually using his attack. It may just be a profile reference. That Ogremon is not having a good day. The eyes bugging out are great, though.
Who knows? It might be a Hyogamon at this point.
Harpymon. I don't have much to say with this because it doesn't feel like there's enough here. It's just kind of flying and sharp claws.
Yeah.
And then Lynxmon, really good dynamic art. Even though, again, it's not really
everything
doing
is when
much.
Artist does, where it's like super neon.
Yes,
feels like a poster from the 90s.
And then I love they did this. Hawkmon and Plotmon, but by the same artist and in the same style as the Vmon and Ukomon promo cards people got by going to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much to say about these. They're just very nice and cute.
Cute. Yeah.
Aquilabon and Tailmon. I love when we get the cards where it's different camera angles of the same shot. And this one really like feels like it matches that. Sylphimon looks great. I don't have much to say. Even like when I was writing, you can see at the end, I'm like, I haven't said enough. And I'm just like, the belt is definitely not called the Typhoon. For anyone who doesn't get the reference.
I like a little Tobu Catmon in the background.
Yeah, let's see. For some reason, every time I look at this card, I think there's a second one right below the foot at the bottom right, and then it definitely isn't. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Sylphimon's belt is literally just the original Kamen Rider belt. And they even have it making
I
a
did
mini
not know
Typhoon.
that.
If you search for Kamen Rider Typhoon, which is the name of the belt, you'll just be like, oh, this is like literally the same thing. Commandramon and Mechanorimon. Commandramon, I like how it's like a squad moving out, dropping in from what I would hope is a Cargodramon. Because if you look carefully, you can see those drop lines.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one piloting a Mechanorimon, I can't decide if this is in water or above water. It doesn't feel like it's in water, but I can clearly see water behind it. I feel like it's meant to be underwater, but like the water texturing doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the water texture is behind it entirely, but not in front of it at all.
But also, like, if you look at like the rock setup behind it with the water, it feels like that's something you'd get in the deep, rather than just like it's a bit off.
It's also hard to contextualize because I'm pretty sure they were inside a Mechanorimon at one point in Seekers on land, so it's not a.
Oh, and it's also worth mentioning the Mechanorimon is actually tagged as a police Mechanorimon.
Yeah, this is Seekers stuff.
And then we talked about this on the show, the Digimon Crime Response Team card, which uses art from Seekers. The full name is Metropolitan Police Department, Community Safety Bureau, Cybercrime Division, Investigation Unit 11, Digimon Crime Response Team.
You would think that suggests some sort of organization beyond what Seekers is implying of this ragtag group of just going to get together and fight crime.
Well, no, I believe it's literally the idea is that it's framed to be a normal organization in the police. So they have to detail every fucking... But, like, for the card, that's overboard. And to share in the chat, I should point out that Jeff sent us this.
Oh, yes.
I remember.
Yes, where it just went completely ass up. I've shared it to you guys and to the chat, in the YouTube chat, where Jeff was even aware this would happen. This is like, yeah, his site doing that does not like that name at all. I think
my response to that image was that text is going to summon Cthulhu.
Mine was that it's just a barcode.
Yeah, that's true. But to be fair, he knew that was going to happen. I'm just happy he shared it with us. I have not checked his site to see if he's manually fixed it in some fashion. I hope not.
I hope he hasn't.
Yeah, I don't want to leave it like that.
Yeah. Let's see. So next up. Okay, these were... Actually, I do not want to turn off the card one. Arcanimon and Mummymon. This is when Koki really shines, when he tones down the puddingness a little bit and it comes off more as stylized paint.
Yeah. Mummymon especially is really...
And both of them are leading a weird little squad, but Mummimon's squad...
Tsukaimon!
Yeah, I don't know which one I like more. The one on the left who's like determined, or the one on the right who looks really fucking angry and is like yelling. And then there's a weird Bakumon that you can barely see right behind Mummymon.
Yeah, no,
it looks like it's trying to eat his shoulder.
Yes. I don't care. It's the Tsukaimon that win here.
And then, even more nuts, was later that night, we get a Tamer card Arcanimon and Mummymon in their human disguises with anime style art. They did this and I just fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Do you know what the best part was? I remember thinking, man, I am 99% sure I know what the next card is going to be. And it was Belial Vamdemon, and I just cackled.
Of course it was.
You know what the best part was?
Rest in pieces.
You know what the best part was? They didn't post Belial Vamdemon on the normal time schedule. They did it a few hours after the Arcanium, because they have a schedule every day. Sometimes if they have a special card to show or one thematically appropriate, they will show it off schedule. They showed Belial Vamdemon off schedule, which feels mean.
It would be funny if like they were in the background of that card dying horribly.
I will say I love this card art. This is very much, hey, mecha packaging art. And also slightly less fat than Belial Vamdemon is often drawn.
That's like really good, like oozing from the cannons.
Yeah, and then we get Garudamon X and Hoomon X. Garudamon X gets a nice dynamic piece of art of it running with Pyomon, and Hoomon X. Koki did what they could, but this has always been a weird fucking design.
Yeah.
And the pose does not help.
No.
Where it's like
where
it's like doing a drop kick, or like it does not. It's very claustrophobic. But
it has so many limbs.
It is so claustrophobic. Does it have so many limbs?
It looks like it does. It looks like it has.
I think it's. But I think it's supposed to only be like 4 or 6 at most.
Well, it's also supposed to be a bird.
Layers of wings.
I like the way you put that. It's supposed to be a bird.
Birds.
Although this is one
aren't supposed to have that many limbs.
Godramon X Godramon X I really like, but it also is like, hey, we've seen Godramon before. This one's slightly different, but also he's just showing us a hand. And then Dragon Breath. Dragon Breath's weird in that it has the name of an old card. It references the old card. It's not like a full-on redraw, although it really does reference the art really nicely. Because in
I instantly recognized it as like one of the old
in the
Hyper Coliseum cards.
Yeah, in that card, it was, I think, Kenshi Watanabe art of just Megidramon just spinning fire. And that was like the whole thing. Here we get like the nice verses, but Megidramon is sort of in the same pose. So it works really well. And then Pistmon actually looks really cool on this. Where we get the nice angle, the speed. This like is the kind of thing that makes him look much cooler than a lot of his art does.
Yeah.
Especially since for some reason they always want to draw him from the side. And it's like that design really does not.
This is the angle.
Yeah. And then Climbon appears to be doing a variation of one of its attacks where it can blend in. It feels like it's dropping down on someone, even though it's waiting to drop. It's an Australian drop bear, basically. Tempomon looks fucking great. Although a bit, am I wrong, or does it feel like this is meant to be like evocative of like Jet Set Radio?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like the color styling isn't quite right, but it feels like it to me, and I don't.
But also like that pose too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got Shroudmon, good art. Interesting, because like it feels like art of him is often the little bit of art we have of him is like standing up. Like here, it feels more like moving forward and almost slouching. And Pulsemon doesn't. And Pulsemon doesn't care. He wants to stretch before he exercises. I love that Pulsemon art, for the record. And then this card seemed to confuse a number of people because we did not, in fact, get a Leon card. We got a Hacker Judge card, which is him with Pulsemon and not using his profile art. This is the art of him from that original promo poster.
Oh,
So I assume they're saving his profile art to do a Leon card in like a set or two when he definitely will not come back in Seekers since he's gone forever. Wink, wink.
Rest in pieces.
Then we get Shroudmon's card, Devouring Thunder and Firebreaker, which is definitely not just doing an Akuma Hadouken.
It looks so cool.
It does, but it also very much just looks like Akuma doing a Hadouken. Or not necessarily Akuma, Oni, the upgraded, even more evil Akuma. I think his name's Oni. I always forget that dude. And then we're getting some weird ones in this set for like what we expected. It's like, because here's the thing, it's supposed to be a movie 02 set, but also like there aren't a lot of characters in that movie.
Yeah, so have some savor.
Yeah.
So we get Agumon and Galgamon, and the interesting thing is the backgrounds are actually from what I believe where you meet them in the story games.
Yeah, that looks. Yeah, that would be.
Although it feels very weird that you're doing Agumon and Galgamon. It feels like you should get Galmon first.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, they might do Geogreymon and Galgamon.
And then
Galmon after.
And then like, okay, we're getting Digimon Story, we're getting non-existent O2 characters, and then Mad Leomon. Sure, why not? I love.
And that is some interesting art.
It's doing its poison claw attack, and I love the neon effect. I think it's that poison claw attack. We get the nice neon poison splashes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people have been confused by this art. I just figured out how to explain it. Are you ready? He stepped on a Lego.
He's mad. I mean,
Lego.
What more do you want?
Then Sealsramon and Tankdramon. It's funny. I have nothing to say about these because they're not really doing specific moves. It's just neat anime style art. Like there's
with
nothing
some watery effect in the back.
There is nothing wrong with these in the least, but I can't think of anything to say about them other than, hey, that's nice, and that one has a police marker on it. So okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Darkdramon. It really feels like the Power Rangers about to show up to fight. Because we get like the angle from the Commandramon, so it's high up. We see like the smoke, we see the stairs, so it's like it's an industrial area, and it's like the Dragon Zord's about to pop up and clonk him in the head.
That's what those dance team was summoning a couple weeks ago.
I need to find that. I figured out why the dance sucks. Remember how we were mocking like it's weird because like the dude's apparently like a dance, like he makes dances and it felt weird. I saw another clip and I figured out why the dance is terrible. Are you ready?
Okay. I didn't need to analyze.
No,
sure.
No. I saw an entirely different clip and I went, because I watched it, I'm like, oh, this stupid thing again. I watched for 5 seconds and I went, oh, I understand. He did a dance that the mascot costume could do.
Okay.
Because they show the Vmon costume doing the dance. And it still looks fucking terrible, but I at least went, oh, that's why it sucked. I mean, it was never going to be good, to be fair, but still. I'd like to believe that the professional dance guy can do better than that.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've seen mascots really bust out some moves, so no excuses.
No, not that fucking Vmon costume cannot do shit.
Not the Vmon.
Look, here's the thing. I don't remember if you ever saw this AR. I know Dev did, and I know I've talked about it 100 times. When they were showing off the Atmon game at the Tokyo Game Show, wherever that was, and they brought out the Gatchmon mascot, and the thing was on like a raised platform, so he had to walk up it, and he kept falling backwards. So finally, he turned sideways and he starts shuffling up the ramp because
all I'm hearing from this is
heavy.
Japanese mascots need to get good.
See, Dev's laughing because I know Dev watched that.
Oh, I saw it too.
Okay,
I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying,
it was the most amazing thing ever. The Gatchmon keeps walking up, and the head keeps leaning back, making the guy stumble backwards. Finally,
I'm referring to like college mascots.
Oh, I know.
NHL mascots. Those guys can bring. Those guys have moves.
Okay, and then we have Chaosmon, who's Chaosmon.
Yeah. There.
I will say, I love the close-up of the Darkdramon head. It looks really neat. And the other heads just happen to be. Runnermon. So, Runnermon with Pulsemon, I looked at this and I just went, I know the joke I'm going to make. It's not very creative. You could describe this as legally distinct from anything in Sonic the Hedgehog. Because Pulsemon's running fast, the scenery is a bit, it's Sonic-y.
Runnermon only has one tail.
Also, it feels like the Fieldlands from Legends Arceus.
And Runnermon himself is basically just Lydramon. With a face mask. So the Achillesmon art is really neat, although I learned something today that I was not aware of about Achillesmon. Most people are unaware he's a cat.
I didn't
and
know
so
Achilles.
was I until I saw this.
I didn't know Achillesmon existed until today, which is surprising considering how much furry bait he is.
He's had a card before. We've talked about it.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
But he's not particularly memorable.
I don't remember.
No. He's not memorable. But like people are like, oh, I like Achillesmon. Wait, what do you mean he's a cat? Like here's the thing.
I'm just saying, with a pose like this, he should be plastered all over the furry forums, and
apparently
his status should be elevated.
To be fair, apparently no one knew he was a cat. Like the number of people who today was like, what do you mean he's a cat? No, he wasn't. It's like, this is one of the Digimon.
They think he was just a dude?
Yes, they thought he was just like a guy. It's like, the other card art it's not like it's unclear artwork that we have of him. And I'm pulling it up to show you guys because we definitely knew he was a cat. Achillesmon. Here's this art. Here's this art. Okay, first up for Devin AR, profile art. And then the other card art we have of him.
I do like the shield around the heels. That's a nice touch.
Yeah. You talk for a moment. I'm about to sneeze.
I'm just yeah. Even from that card, it's like that is total furry bait. So I don't know.
I feel it'd be more furry bait if they showed like ears and a tail.
I mean,
because otherwise it's just like, oh yeah, but you can still have like slots in it, or like,
got,
fake
whiskers. Yeah, I guess, but
that is definitely a cat though.
He's like a bargain bin Thundercats.
Yeah. There you go. That's it. That's
yeah. We can't fucking top that. Time to move on from Achillesmon.
He is a Thundercats.
Yes, he is. And then from V Jump, a few previews. We have not seen Shakuamon, which looks good. Louis and Ukumon both get cards look nice. A nice double tamer card of Daisuke Ken. It feels like that's telling us that the others are going to be double tamer cards also.
Oh yeah.
Which is funny because as I recall, that's what Tri and Kizuna both got, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes.
But not everybody, but most of them were.
It was fun because they mixed up the combos with those. Yeah. It was good.
For some reason, I don't expect them to mix up the combos this time.
It'd be fun if they did.
Because it feels like they...
Yeah, mechanics-wise, I suppose it wouldn't be as...
Yeah, because they kept talking about, like, oh, it's going to be the Jogress and stuff from the movies. It's like... And you see Louis there, so, like, what is the mix-up going to be at this point? There's only 4 left.
Yeah, also, I think Takeru
Louis and a baseball bat.
I think Takeru and Akari have gotten a card together.
I
once.
Don't... They may...
I thought they had.
I'm not sure.
The reboot...
Like the
I thought them...
kids?
They may have
got one.
Here's the thing: the reboot one's got so many, it's hard to remember, to be honest.
Right, but I think when they paired them up for the reboot, it was Takeru and Akari.
Yeah, and then we got clean versions of Limited Card Pack 2 Death Xmon and various, mostly movie-related promo cards. We also got clean images from Starter Deck 17. I love that it's a Terramon Lopmon set. It just works well, and also Magnamon's there as a treat.
They should just call it Bunny Brigade.
They should, but they won't, and you know that. And then Card Battle. The first one is literally, Aoyama's done too well lately, so we're just going to do multiple matches against her to see if we can make her less popular. And also that everyone was jealous that commenters kept saying she was cute, so they were going to try to take her down a peg. Was literally what one episode was. They literally put comments on screen, and it was like, people keep saying she's cute. We have to do something about this. And
well, they should also become more cute to fight her.
And then they did a... Well, see, you say that, it's funny, because the next episode when they do the Starter Deck 17 match, Sayaka has her hair done like Aoyama. So I believe that was done on purpose. And haven't posted about it. May should point out Iwai got married. There were some oddities with the marriage, like when they posted information about his wife. I'm like, wait a tick. How old's he? He's not as old as I think he is, but those ages are slightly off. Well, first of all, I did not know he was 37. I thought he was like in his 40s or 50s.
He certainly looks like that.
And she's 19. And that was roughly my reaction. It's like, okay, it's funny. No, it gets worse. Because I'm
maybe
looking.
She's a thing for like zombies.
Well, that's the thing is, it's talking about how they met on the set of one of those talk show things. He actually has met her parents. They approve of him. And then as I'm looking through stuff,
I hope so. If they're getting married.
Well, that doesn't always happen. But as I'm looking through stuff, I'm like, they're showing like times when they posted pictures of each other. It's like, why does that picture say it's from like 2019? And it's like, okay, I'm going to stop looking this up for now because I don't want to know.
I told you we should just stop there and move on.
No, because that's one of those things I'm not going to miss. And then ice cream.
Need some ice cream after that.
The Roll Ice Cream Factory Digimon stuff is being sold online. And I have to say, the first item's great, even though I really hope someone does not try to get this from an intermediary.
I really hope someone does. I want the results.
The first one is all 4 collaboration ice creams, along with portioned out cups of the things you need to add to them, and it comes in from a frozen delivery company.
Yeah.
I have to imagine. I have to imagine
No.
any intermediary will look at this and just go, no. There's no way this is going to work. Please stop, crazy fan who is not from Japan. And you
have a discount code for HelloFresh.
Yes. And then you also get 4 of the postcards at random. And then there's also the acrylic stands, the clear file, the trading magnet stickers, all decent prices, minus having to deal with intermediaries. Yeah. I like the SD art. I like that it's pseudo unique art. Like, I think the only products are from Roll Ice Cream, but like we saw these used on like tables at movie theaters and stuff.
Yeah.
And I love getting I think it was the sticker image shows all of them clean and super high resolution without any junk around it. And it's like, wow, there's some really nice detailing on these. Although the weird thing is they're all in their Kazuna outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't even like when
Did they just make this before they had access to the artwork?
It could be the thing where the collaboration's planned out ahead of time and they just had to get it done. And also Louie's there. And here's the one problem with SD art. You look at all these, it's like, man, Vmon looks great, Hawkmon looks great, Armordemon's amazing, and I'm not sure Ukomon technically counts as SD. That's kind of just Ukomon, to be honest.
A horrifying Muppet as always.
Yeah. And then the quest shop we have details for. First off, we've said it before, the art for this is just fucking amazing. I fucking love it so much.
Where's the high res of this?
There wasn't any.
Find some.
Yeah, right. Like, this is the one I want the high res stuff for.
Hey, the one thing that's worth mentioning is it's a standby page for now. When the actual store goes up, I'm hopeful we'll get something nicer. Because believe me, when they put up the images, I grabbed the image address and try to reverse engineer it to get high resolution images. So, yeah. So this is open the 30th. It runs until the 8th the 8th in the new year. And they also revealed new artwork, which is from Seiji Tachikawa, who's the animation character designer for the movie. New art of just a nice little art of them in the snow. Yeah, it's really good. So the products are, first is there are bromide prints of the 602 kids and that new artwork, but there's a trick to getting them. You pay your money and then you get a quiz. If you do well on the quiz, if you want, you can get a different bromide which features them with the detective artwork, which is meant to be fun, but it feels horrible if those are the actual ones you want. Although
Seems like unnecessary pressure.
I would hope it is a basic quiz. And if you do well on the quiz,
the airspeed of an unladen swallow.
I lost my train of thought because now I just have Monty Python quotes in my head. And if you do well in the quiz, you can also buy a badge with the crest showing you did well.
The test is you have to determine how the parrot died. It's a mystery.
And then the acrylic keychains, can badges, stationery set. I like the random cushion, which they have to quantify as a square-shaped cushion. Acrylic stands, mini disc style keychains. That is something most people will not know. And a high-end art print reproduction of that new art, and that number is not wrong. Multiple people have been like, you typed that number wrong, right? No, I did not. 49,500 yen. What is that? To USD. Current exchange rate makes that $335. And weirdly, this is
only a fucking A3 size.
Yes. Oh, and big frame. It comes framed. And if you're a Digimon Partner member, before the store launches, Digimon Partners will post some sort of keyword or keyword phrase, which will get you a free sticker with your order of that new art.
Wow, a sticker.
And then, so that will be on the 30th. Then a little bit of V-Jump cleanup, because V-Jump from today has been throughout this, but the last page is kind of a potpourri. We get the Amplified Model Kit. They have a little corner about Dreamers. We get the weirdly sad little Seekers section. Remember when Seekers got like 2-page spreads, and then 1 page, and then half a page, and now it doesn't even get any art?
Look, it exists.
Yeah. Miyuki Sawashiro does a small little interview, which is weird because, like, she narrates the audio thing, but she's not. I don't want to say she's not part of it because obviously she's the narrator, but it feels weird. Like, I don't know what she has to say about it.
She might have thoughts on it while she's narrating.
And then this is like the other weird thing today is it points out, oh, it's heading to the final part, and people are like, what? It can't be ending. It's like, you realize it's been like 7 months. Like, they said about a year. We're like at that point, especially with how long these chapters have been. So, do you think Seekers will be able to eke out a win in the end?
Maybe. I think it's possible.
It's weird. There's been multiple, even as unhappy as we've all kind of been, it keeps feeling like there are random chapters where it's like, it feels like it's going to rev up right after this. It feels like it's coming.
It does still feel like there can be some compelling stuff in here before it's over.
Yeah, it feels like it. Then they also went over some of the O2 collaborations like the Ice Cream Factory, Kittyland, the pop-up shops. It was nice to have a relatively small V-Jump section. Because some of them are like 7 or 8 pages lately. A nice 3-pager was good. And then, oh man, you can tell when the polls are definitely real and not someone has tried to rig it. When Armadamon and Cody win with over half the votes. Do you like how it's always?
And this is why Bandai does not listen to our polls anymore.
No, the funny part is they will do polls and they will double check the numbers. They just don't do them on these meaningless ones that mean nothing. Because it really doesn't. Like we've seen polls for other ones where they're like, come on guys, we're watching the numbers, don't do that shit. Here they don't even care. And the funny part is some people are popping like, no, there's plenty of Cody and Armadamon. It's like, yes, but it's not getting 50% of the vote.
Over 50.
Yes. And I like how the literal next 4 are all like the basic Vmon ones.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I admit I would have thought the Miyako/Yoli one would have ranked higher.
Doesn't matter. As soon as Iori wins anything, you know it's not valid.
And then new poll. It is your favorite Digimon from the Pendulum 1/1.5 outside of baby ones. Because of the selection for this pendulum, there's actually a interesting lineup here. I mean, it's gonna be Tailmon or Andromon, isn't it?
I feel it.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like
I think Kuwagoon's probably gonna go pretty high too.
You know who could be the crazy winner? Or the unexpected high one, that is not necessarily a winner. Metal Edamon.
Metal Edamon.
Yeah, it feels like it could. This closes in about a day, so get to it and vote if you want to, anyone.
I went Fluffy Pink Dragon.
And then
that'd be fun.
And then from the last few weekends, we get the Dreamers overview of 20 from Tenyabuno. He points out that he really wants to use that 0 to 1 name thing for a chapter of Dreamers. And he got wistful ahead of that manga meeting thing they did. Then we got a preview of the newly released O2 Blu-ray set. It's funny, I really don't like the look of these. Like, they feel too minimal. People who worked on the show fucking love them. Kakudo's posted about the theme of this set multiple times. He really likes them. To me, it's just a bit too minimal. Like, I don't.
The liner inner liner is actually kind of neat.
Yeah.
All the little stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Like
it's too
IKEA.
It's too minimal as a box, basically.
Yeah, from the outside. The outsides.
Then they showed off they showed off that Bandai at the headquarters. It's still Digimon stuff. They showed off the little Tamagotchi mascot also. Tokyo Tower, we got images of a bunch of stuff from it. I love these standees. There's so much fun stuff. Those drinks still look terrible though. Then at the museum, they showed off various movie-themed products they got, and also on the chalkboard, they did a little thing for the second week audio drama. I love when they draw the Otadamas. They look so nice. Hikari looks the best. Something about Patamon weirds me out.
The orange is too bright. Kind of obstructs the eyes a little bit.
That may be it. And then, of course, the beginning was in theaters. Various photos from me and others on social media. And then it is very weird that they're doing more of the Ghost Game prints.
I guess they must be selling?
I think it's that they got renewed, so probably part of the contract was that they would get a few more new ones, and they're just, like, marketing them in batches still, because that's what they do. There are some nice ones in this batch, though, I admit. Like, looking through them, there was a lot of good Jellymon shots.
I particularly like the hero and Kiyoshiro just looking, staring wide-eyed at the camera.
That's a good one.
I think that one's my favorite.
Then let's see. We got another little Dreamers preview. And Tenyabuno pointed out, hey, that's it. Now it's monthly. It's stuff that was never published before. Fathom and Toei both made tweets regarding if you did not get cards at the theater. It appears they're trying to deal with that as best they can for people who didn't. So go take a look if you didn't, and hopefully they can take care of you. We got the narrated preview for the third. I love that it's Hiroki Hirata just like doing O2 previews. It's so good. So fun.
Nostalgia.
Then we got a few guests at the Tokyo Tower event. That is nearly over. It's Iori, Armadamon, Vmon, and Wormmon, I believe, looking at everyone. I feel like I'm mixing up someone, but I think that's what it is. Then the museum added a few new things, including the print. It looks very nice in person. I'm certainly not paying $330 for it, though. It looks very nice, though.
Yeah, hell no.
Yeah, that's exactly my feeling. And then we get the As Maria drawn artwork for the Metal Greymon Amplified kit based on 2020. That is some nice As Maria art that is also very As Maria art.
Very spiky.
Also, I'm pretty sure this is a Gundam pose.
When is it not a Gundam pose?
It's always a Gundam pose. But yeah, very nice art. My only thing is it feels like they should have done the Alteris mode for the art.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because that is such a uniquely 2020 thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the kit being able to do that is a neat touch.
For sure.
And time for questions. You guys in chat can throw yours up. Some of the ones we sent ahead of time. We've talked about us entering a break or downtime for Digimon. Do you think that can be good? Absolutely.
I need one, yeah.
A break for us. Also, and I say this in all honesty, it can definitely help the heart grow fonder, because as we've gotten everything we functionally dream of, people are getting a little more generically upset.
I mean, never mind the hearts, our wallets need to recover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bit of break time is not a bad idea. And here's the thing, we don't know how long. This could very well be in January or February they're going to announce the card game thing, and for all we know, it's huge. Like, this could be a very short break. I would not mind if it's a bit longer, though.
I need time to recover.
Yeah. I was not going to include this one because I was worried the show would run long, but since it's not, what are some movies that you think are ones that represent who you are? That is a very deep question.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I keep trying to think of multiple ones, and I've come up with a few.
I mean, the first one that came to mind for me was Clue, which tells you a bit.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
The first one that came to mind to me almost is too easy. It was Clerks.
Oh, yes.
Dev?
Mine probably would be Scary Movie.
Oh, that's a good choice.
That's a good one.
That's a good choice.
I was also thinking of stuff like Army of Darkness or...
You know, it's funny you mentioned Clerks because Dogma was on my short list for possibilities.
Dogma's a great choice. I'm trying to think of what else. It feels like there'd be something like a Die Hard or a Lethal Weapon in there, just like the type of movie that you really... Ghostbusters is a good one.
Silly violence.
Oh, another one that would be good for me would be the original Back to the Future.
Yeah,
I think would cover me. That actually covers a lot of.
I was just talking about
style.
Back to the Future in the chat a couple days ago. I was pointing out how in the comics they deal with an oddity of the plot.
Well, I think with Back to the Future, just the idea of having a sci-fi, having a sci-fi concept that doesn't really beat you over the head as much with a sci-fi and focuses on the story.
Don't worry, the comics beat you over the head with it.
Right, that's why I'm not bringing up.
No, and I know, but that's where it's fun in the sense of the movies. The movies are a great example of continuity is not the be-all end-all.
It's very accessible sci-fi. Yes. That's sort of what I like.
Yeah. I still love when the comics brought up a question I had for years. I loved it so much. The Marty who is in 2 and 3 is not the Marty who went back in time at the end of 1. That Marty had an entirely different life. It's just a weird thing that always made me go, huh. And then they brought it up in the comics, and the answer in the comics is roughly, Marty, stop being a fucking moron, don't worry about it. Literally, like, that was the answer. Like, even Jennifer, like, smacks him. It's like, I don't care.
I mean, Marty has more of a character arc in 2 and 3 than he does in 1.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is Marty goes back in time at the beginning of 1 and returns at the end of 1, correct?
Yes.
At the end of movie 1, he sees himself go back in time, right?
Yeah.
That is not him from the beginning of the movie. That is an entirely different Marty McFly who had an entirely different life.
Yeah, it is, but that's a whole
No,
rabbit hole
no, I
that
know, no,
we
I
don't
know,
want to.
but that's what I'm saying. The comics deal with it, and the answer is literally, no one cares, Marty. Calm the fuck down. It does not matter. You are who you are. It does not matter.
Yes.
I love that the comics asked the question, because that was a question that people brought up constantly, and it's because I think it was Bob Gale helped on the comics, and the answer is literally just slapping it down. It does not matter.
I appreciate, because in my fic Neverworld, I do a very similar question comes up, and the exact same answer is given.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it.
Although I love how they start that arc. Literally, Marty asked the question of his dad, like not explaining time travel, but like, what if you had the chance to go back in time and you change something? Would you be you? His dad's like, I don't know. You need like, and they end up going to a priest. The priest is like, Marty, that's a horrible question. That's ruining God's plan. And Marty's like, and Marty's is like, oh great, God hates me and Doc. And it's just like, it's just so good. Let's see. Are there any beginning products you expect to pop up? It's weird because it feels like the last year and a half has been.
It's been just a shit ton of them.
Yeah, it's been like we got various gems and precious gems. We have the very fancy D3s that are coming soon-ish. It feels like this time they did everything in the lead up to it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what pops up outside of, say, the movie itself or a score disc, because we really don't know. There'll be something big, but it feels like they got all that while the hype for the movie was building, which I can appreciate.
Realistically, I could expect more like Crane Game style plushies.
Yeah. Although I will say, we have precious gems of Pilgrimon and Dragon mode. We do not have one for fighter mode. I could also imagine one of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, because I'm going with that hedge still. Like, can't you just imagine like just a big statue of that image?
No, not at all, actually. I don't want Mr. Stay Puft in my house.
The traveler has come.
Okay, almost near the last chance for you guys in chat if you want to ask any questions. Someone said this was a returning. I assume this means it's the same person who's asked this occasionally. Any non-Digimon films, books, games that have caught our attention lately?
Let's see. I'm kind of in between stuff right now, because like after I finished Tears of the Kingdom, I went back and finished Persona 3. So now I'm like kind of just winding up other stuff, like little stuff before I begin other things.
I have Mario Wonder and Mario RPG to play in limited time, and those are both going to...
I don't have Mario Wonder, and I just played RPG the original like a few months ago, so I'm like not in a hurry to get the new one.
And then also I've been taking advantage. Mario RPG I'm really looking forward to, because that is like, to me, that is the quintessential like classic style JRPG.
Oh yeah, I mean it absolutely is. Like I was just on a big SNES kick a while. Like I was playing Chrono Trigger as well recently.
God, I wish I had time to play games, but I basically am just even more dead than usual when I get home.
And then
go ahead.
Various Blu-rays have been coming in. It's like, oh, should I watch or rewatch this? Like, oh, a new disc of Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girls Senpai. Great show, great movie. So you guys, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say we've been getting into we've been trying to catch up on Doctor Who again as well, so I've been a little bit more.
Oh God, I'm looking, because we're days away from that.
I know, but it's like because it's coming back again. We're like, oh crap, we're like 2 seasons behind, so we got to plow through the rest of Whittaker.
So I can't watch the Whittaker stuff, and we've talked about it before. I love her. The writing is just so bad. I can't.
The thing is, it is.
Does it get better?
It is. Well, it's. I mean, it's. I would say the stuff I've seen so far is not as good as previous seasons, but it's like for me, it's like it still feels like Doctor Who, and I'm still really enjoying it.
To be clear, I have no doubt it feels like Doctor Who, and she's great. I remember I think I remember talking about this with Vandy. We each separately watched the first episode. We both went, "She's great. The writing is so bad. I don't know if I'm going to watch it next week." And I think neither of us did, and we just separately did not watch any of her run because the writing felt so bad, and it never felt like it got better. Even though some of the twists I actually like that I've heard of.
Oh yeah.
Even the stuff that people say they don't like, it's like, oh, a weird, stupid twist like that is exactly Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I mean the mediocre episodes are aggressively mediocre. But
yeah, that's functionally what it is. Is the
still fun for me.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I have no doubt of that. It was purely a writing quality thing for me. Anytime they showed a new cast member, it's like, I know this person, they're going to be great. Or if I don't know them, it's like they're picking good people. I just, You know, I don't remember who put it. I think it was I think it's Lee, who I know in the UK, who's not a Digimon person heavily. They are a Doctor Who person, just general nerd stuff. They put it best. Jodie Whittaker is going to do Doctor Who audio dramas for decades, and everyone's going to love her in it.
She's going to be the new Colin Baker, yeah.
No, she's going to be the new Paul McGann.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Paul McGann just didn't get. He had one movie, so
yeah, but he had
Colin Baker had several seasons of.
But mediocrity. To be fair, people like a lot of the Colin Baker stuff. To be fair,
do they? I thought he was one of the least popular.
He is, but you have to remember, like almost every one of those was a home run, and I think people warmed up to Baker as he stayed longer.
Maybe, but I know that his audio stuff really knocks out the park.
All the audio stuff knocks it out, to be honest, though.
Particularly Baker and McGann.
Yeah, McGann had the advantage of kind of being like,
he was kind of a blank slate.
Yeah, it's sort of, they never did anything with him minus the movie, and since there wasn't a show, no one was ever really telling them no.
I mean, there was like very early on. It's like, suddenly doesn't have the wig anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
the better part was like it was 5, 6, 7 years ago at a convention. A professional costume designer helped design a new costume for him for photos with fans.
Fun.
And they took and it was like a new costume where like it has his normal hair. It's like a leather outfit and everything. And they took super high end images of them. They use those on the cover of the audio dramas now.
Oh, nice.
So they don't just have to use the same 5 images of him in the London outfit.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to 3 episodes of David Tennant and then moving on to whatever's next.
Yeah.
It is very exciting that the person who brought Doctor Who back is back again.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm looking forward to that. And
yeah, I'm excited for the new RTD back and the new Doctor.
And he's fighting Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes.
And Neil Patrick Harris is playing someone we haven't seen in decades.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that. The last one, I watched all of Scott Pilgrim on Friday.
I need to watch that still.
Yeah, I'm not talking about it much because for reasons.
This is one where I'm glad to have had a warning about something early.
Yes. Multiple people I know basically went, I've heard about X. Do I need to go read all the comics first? And I basically went, as long as you watch the movie, you're fine.
Yeah. Like I thought this was going to be I thought it was pretty much going to be a straight up adaptation, and I'm glad to know in advance that it's not, because that again shapes your expectations.
Although I will say, I was reading an interview with O'Malley today, and he pointed out that media literacy isn't great because people keep going, man, I'm rereading it years later. It seems like Scott Pilgrim's a bad person. And it's like,
oh my God.
Yes, and it's like, I'm sorry, did you not read the first page? Like that's not that's not supposed to be something to discover. You're told, functionally speaking, almost no one in the story of Scott Pilgrim is a good person.
Yeah, like the kind of
there's this trend where people think that, oh, it's a protagonist character.
He's a main character.
Rooting for them.
He's a main character in an underdog situation. Yeah. That means he's automatically a guy. And Scott Pilgrim is all about destroying that and going, no, he's kind of an ass.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. The 7Xs, all bad people. Scott Pilgrim, bad person. Ramona, bad person. Functionally,
they're all pieces of shit.
You could probably argue Knives is a good person, but she's also young and confused in general.
Yeah.
But Knives functionally speaking, yes, everyone in Scott Pilgrim is supposed to be a bad person.
I wouldn't call Knives bad, but she's not great.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
like, you don't watch this for moral, upstanding citizens.
Okay, Juggernaut wants to know. Thinking about it, Juggernaut, we will save that question for when we talk about the movie, because if
you're not ready for it, it's you want to be surprised.
Wait for that question for the beginning of the year, and we will answer that directly. But for now, no. And last question, minus any of the pop and chat. If we were going to make O2 food or drinks for an event, what would we come up with, since we've generally complained about them?
Booze.
No, I'm trying to think, like
mixed drinks.
It feels like you have to have
because you can dye the food and the icing different colors. You can use different sprinkles. You could even put the little.
I will say this. As much as it's not my thing, the roll ice cream was a decent idea.
Ice cream was probably the best way to go.
Yeah.
Don't be so focused on trying to make it look like the characters. Have it be inspired by characters more than.
Although I admit, I still love I don't remember if it was tea or coffee with a single strawberry floating for Sora. I don't remember if it was tea or coffee, but that was the dumbest one, and still is.
I think it was coffee with a strawberry.
Although, as I recall, wasn't a Miyako follow-up to that where tea with a single marshmallow floating in it?
Yes.
And it's great. This is the crest of horrible fucking drinks. Okay, I think that is about it. Basically, we would just make normal stuff that had the right color. We would not worry about some sort of weird faux whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And if it's blue, we would probably ignore that. AR's dream of making blue Curacao drinks will not come true.
Oh god, I just remembered that blue Sonic the Hedgehog curry.
No, they did that for Digimon also.
God damn it!
Remember, they did. It was blue curry with a mound of rice in the middle, and they put a Monica of the train car in the middle, so it's supposed to be the island.
Oh god, fuck!
And it was like a weird pasty blue that almost looked more like kids' glue than blue. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
It's coming back to me, and I don't want to remember.
No, yeah, it was horrifying. AR, what have you been up to, and what shall you be up to?
What I've been up to, I did answer that one question that we talked about in the movie about regarding the movie about how it had to be the O2 cast and what would happen if all of the other seasons' characters were in the situation the O2 kids are in. How would they respond to each of those things? So I break it down by seasons. Obviously, that's full of spoilers, but look it up on my Tumblr because it's kind of interesting because certainly they go in very different directions.
Here's what you need to do, AR. You need to put a reminder on your phone calendar for 8 p.m. on January 2nd. So you can tell everyone on the show where we'll do spoilers again that to go check that out.
Mm-hmm. I got another ask I might tackle as well. So,
okay, Dev, name something on Wikimon for people to look up and read.
Thunderballmon, because it is blue.
I mean, blue-ish. That is more of a metally purple than a blue, if I remember. I may be remembering him wrong, though.
It's like a navy-ish blue, but it's still blue and just has random-ass fucking sneakers.
The random-ass sneakers represents the Monica of the train. And I can be found with those always on Twitter, Blue Sky, the forums. And we will catch you guys in 2 weeks for hopefully another breezy show. It was nice to get a breezy show after a while, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we will catch you guys all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.